Welcome back to the Heroes Global Championship Grand Finals. Team Dignitas, the second team ever to be able to beat Fnatic in a game this event. The last time it happened, Fnatic lost to Misfits on the same map with the exact same composition. And at that point, they chose to go for first pick. So if that trend continues, Tetra, what do you think Team Dignitas will want to choose map-wise?
I'm pretty sure we're going to see Dignitas, if they do get that map choice, going to Towers of Doom. They have always seemed to lean that way as their comfort pick. Like, they will go to macro maps if they feel they can out-macro another team, but Towers of Doom is just a really good map for them. They like it, and if they get that choice, I'm pretty sure they'll take Fnatic because we haven't seen Fnatic there that much.
And Dignitas, they like to play Tracer there, they like to play Abathur there, so they do have a lot of lethal weapons for it, which leads some credence to what you were saying.
Yeah, they've had a lot of success with Dahaka as well. They just have so much versatility, and they have the Snitch, of course, that can run 3 or 4 different heroes on that battleground in particular. In the past, they actually ran some Ragnaros too, so Towers of Doom, if it is a choice for Dignitas, I agree with you. I think we'll be going there. Now, the question is, what does Fnatic choose? Do they want to go for first pick, or do they want to have the battleground?
Towers.
It's
Towers.
just like you said, Tetra there. Very good call. So this should not surprise Fnatic then.
Like Gilly said, it seems to fit in with the theme where Fnatic, losing with the exact same draft and the exact same battleground, they gave up first pick. It's a pattern.
All right, so we saw an unorthodox comp, is all we can say, from Team Dignitas. They have brought up these heroes a couple of times now. You think we're going to continue to see that until Fnatic is able to adapt and stop it, or is that more centered toward the battlegrounds that they were drafted on, Trick?
Just an overall strategy? You're asking if we're going to have different heroes? Maybe. The interesting thing is the Abathur that we've been seeing against Misfits has only been designed to play against Misfits, and they've ran it all 3 times they've ran on Towers of Doom, and Misfits has been able to come over and beat it. Could they pull it off against Fnatic? I would have to see. Because the one thing about Fnatic is they're more prone to run Falstad and Dahaka, which is pretty good at holding it down. Of course, Zeratul too. They have a lot of heroes that counter the push that could happen from Abathur. So maybe it's working for them. They're on a hype train. Let's see if that'll work here as we go into Towers of Doom.
I would like to say that when Stitches was at the height of his popularity, there were 2 maps where he was most popular on, and that was Tomb of the Spider Queen and Towers of Doom.
And then you have the odd strategy of Medivh and Stitches.
The Dine and Dash!
Yes, it's the
so
old
dirty.
one.
It's
Fast
so
food.
dirty.
You get the gorge, you jump into a portal, you bring them behind the towers. So Fnatic has to be aware of that. The Tracer has been banned out automatically. Now Dignitas will get their ban. Traditionally, it's been Tassadar, but you don't have to worry about it too much against Fnatic. They don't run it as often as you would think.
There's one thing we have not seen yet the entire tournament, and that's a Medivh first pick. If this is something that Fnatic wants to counter, if they want to pair this up with their various variant play, Lucio play.
Doesn't matter. Dignitas, 2 ahead of us.
Yeah. You shall not. Well, it was just an idea.
It's the caster curse. Second you start talking about something, the teams are like, nope, not allowed.
It's the caster prescience.
Ah, that's the one. So Dahaka, first pick for Fnatic, lovely on this map, just gets a lot of fun up in the top lane and is able to rotate to the shrines, seeing as they all have bushes next to them.
Now Dignitas can make a pretty good judgment call that if they don't take it, that Fnatic will take both Malfurion and Falstad. Falstad because they love to run globals. Maybe even they would just go Falstad and Brightwing because Fnatic love it when all of their heroes can fly, basically.
Yeah, I think Falstad and Malfurion would be my first choice, but Dignitas did give them variety the last time we were on Towers of Doom. We did see the Jaina Zeratul first pop out for them. Now, of course, that was a competition they ran against the Misfits, so here I would expect the normal strategy, and there it is, Malfurion.
Yeah, I don't think that's the same Dignitas. That was the Dignitas that did not believe in themselves, that were not having fun with the game. They were not trusting in each other, and they went for long shots that were gimmicky and very try-hard. Now, it seems like they have unleashed themselves. The cat's out of the bag. The genie is out of the bottle. So I think Dignitas, they are not that Zera, Jaina one-trick comp anymore. They go for the standard picks, Falstad and Malfurion. They have worked very well for them, and I think they're on a good road.
Speaking of genies, your thoughts on potentially seeing Chromie once again? Everyone runs that skin.
Speaking of genies, well, you know, it's been solved once. Here by Dignitas, once by Misfits, but it was on Tomb of the Spider Queen. I don't think you should suddenly write her off and not have her be an option anymore. But I do think there's some other priorities for now to think about.
Yeah, Rag has actually managed to slip through Rag and Chromie, probably the best 2 harassers. But Fnatic starting off with a bit more all-in burst here with the form of the Varian and the Greymane. They have a lot of potential single target removal.
And this kind of becomes a pseudo counter to the strategy of Jaina Zeratul we've seen in the past, just because so far this weekend, every time we've seen a Zeratul, if there is a variant on the opposing team, he is shut down automatically. There's too much control. So taking the variant earlier takes away that EU strategy that we've seen in the past of that combination coming in. Now, Dignitas hovering their ban.
Well, I'm thinking of maybe a Tyrael here, possibly. Fnatic applied this strategy so well just today against Misfits when they won 3-1. And they used Vari and Greymane together on Dragonshire and also on Sky Temple. They just delete fools, and they used Tyrael both times. I'm a little surprised we see Li Ming getting removed here instead, though.
It's a little peculiar. Like, I completely agree with you that maybe the Tyrael would have been good. It would have removed all of that extra survivability for Greymane, but Li Ming does, once again, add to that single target removal style that Fnatic's comp currently leans a little bit towards. And it also is a lot of alter denial, which Dignitas doesn't want to have to deal with.
Yeah, I mean, it's also the alternate pick to Medivh, which has been removed.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Chromie being hovered to be taken out for Fnatic. In the past, we have seen Dignitas run that sort of multi-small Void Prison into Jaina blow-up combos, but they used Chromie instead with Temporal Loop. That time they had Baryon, though, but they tried to set up a lot of Ragnaros and Chromie setups as well. So Ragnaros is still on the board for Dignitas, and I feel like Xillia is running him pretty well here.
Xillia doesn't currently have a hero. That seems like it would fit their comp very well.
Although I will say, I wouldn't mind seeing an Arzus from Xillia here, just because of Greymane and Varian being set up. If you're able to sustain through that, you can have a nice lockdown and counter disengage from Dignitas. But again, the Ragnaros is a strong pickup.
It's not a bad idea, actually. I think Dignitas, once again, has a lot of options. They can go down the Arthas route, Zeratul, Ragnaros. And it's even to the point where Menace Chromie has been banned out. We didn't even know he placed that hero.
we literally found out last series, and he's immediately ban-worthy. That's the power of Mena, if I've ever seen it. But he is still left with Kael'thas, who we have also seen him play very well, and Jaina has been left available, so the opportunity for that Jaina Zeratul combo is still available, but now almost definitely not going to happen because Rag, but yeah, Tyrael Rag, as you just said, could be cool.
Just to take it away from Varian and Greymane, I feel like it's too much, but they go full Fire Lords here with KT and Ragnaros.
Wow, Dignitas is on the full warpath. Triple damage drafted once again, just like last game. They are taking no prisoners here.
So, Fnatic, they do still have that Tyrael potential, so that would still fit in fine, and they do still need a support.
It would leave them with 3.5 melee, though, against Kael'thas. Chain Bombs, Burn Flash, Flame Strike. Tyrael, I mean, you need him for the protection, but he is a melee. They kind of have enough of that already, on the other hand.
So what do you think? Maybe Zarya? Something ranged that would still offer protection for the Greymane?
Zarya doesn't do enough initial damage to help Greymane. To finish someone off. So I'm thinking actually a ranged damage dealer, a proper assassin, and then also a support. And I think Lucio, you know, I don't think he can work here. It's probably a Rhaegar or Kharazim with a ranged damage dealer, possibly a Vala. I don't think it'll be a terrible idea.
There's also Jaina on the board, but I think I lean towards a little more Vala and then Rhaegar. Oh, Tyrande and Rhaegar.
Aha.
Wow, okay.
Well, double support for this one. They're going to put a lot of protection onto the Greymane and the Stitches for a second time. And like we said, this is once again one of his more popular maps. The poke potential from both of these teams is kind of crazy.
Yeah, I mean, my word. I mean, Tyrande and Stitches are now commonplace. I don't know what's happening here. We did hear from one of the teams here. The meta changes from the beginning to the end of the tournament, and that's what we're witnessing here. We're in a new microcosm of Heroes of the Storm EU drafting strategy.
And especially between two teams who know each other and have played against each other so well. This idea of banning one mage and then that mage versus the other side is so cool to see. Never would I have thought that I would see that evolution of the meta. Fantastic series already so far. Grubby, predictions on how this next one will go?
Well, Fnatic, they have a lot of lockdown. Drag Tongue, Warbringer Charge. We have Tyrande's Lunar Flare. And then we have damage from Greymane. But I'm lacking a little bit of ranged damage. Tyrande has some, but I'm not sure it's enough. Dignitas, they look very scary. They have so much damage. And the God hooks from JPL. He's been playing a fine Stitches. And I think, strange as it sounds, I did not think they'd all say this yesterday. I'm leaning towards Dignitas for this one as well.
And I think I do it just because of the hype levels. Honestly, I've learned that you cannot vote against Dignitas in these last couple of rounds. They are just on full momentum, so I'm going with them.
I am actually going to go against you guys this time, and I'm going to lean more in the favor
How
of
dare you.
Fnatic. How dare I? They do have some incredible lockdown, and a lot of their heroes do have escape. They have cleanse to deal with the hook, and they do have a huge amount of burst damage. As long as Stitches isn't their target, they should be able to get those kills.
I do believe in the Wubby Dahaka. We'll see if it pays off for them. We're heading back to the casting desk for game number 2 of our grand finals.
Thank you, Gillian. We are back to business with Fnatic versus Dignitas. Game number 2. Dignitas is in the lead. And guys, they did not only throw out the rulebook, they actually burned it to the ground, and they burned it with Kel'Thas and Rack.
I can't tell if they just threw it out or they're rewriting it. Like, to be honest, are they setting the norm? Now that we have Tyrande up on pick by Fnatic, right? As a duo support this time. But, you know, the fact that they're... For once this tournament, Dignitas is influencing Fnatic's drafts, not the other way around.
Yeah, and right now, I mean, this is getting crazy. Once again, we have Mena on Kel'Thas. For months, he was begging. He was asking his team, I want to play him. I want to bring him back. And right now, they're running him in every single game. The power of the flames. They have Zelia on the Ragnaros as well. And of course, again, JPL on the Stitches. What else?
Yeah, and one thing I am looking forward to is going to be Schwimpy. When Schwimpy, I mean, starting even like, I'm going to say even near a year and a half ago, I feel like some of his biggest breakout performances, much like we know Mene was the Kel'Thas, Schwimpy's was Tyrande.
Yeah.
And so I'm really looking forward to see his performance here in this game, you know, and again, it's just what's becoming an iconic hero for this grand finals.
It definitely is. Once those stuns hit, once you get that extra damage, and if the isolated target is just so good. Schwimpy is the hero player that we have to watch out for here. And when we're looking on the other side, I mean, in this particular case, once again, it has to be just JPL with those amazing hooks. That hook on the last map,
Ontario?
Unbelievable. 2 on the Spider Queen, blind hook, and the trust of Celia with a Sulfura Smash.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. I mean,
You must have watched it 5 times.
I may or may not have been playing it on repeat in between this game. Smexy, though, caught out in bottom. And I think I've seen this happen once before.
The immediate beast stab here. Taunting the opponent and showing them, boys, you have no chance.
And so now with this first kill, I think it's time to think about Fnatic's mindset right now, right? And it's not like the world is burning when it comes to game number 2, but even that first pick, you've got to be thinking not like this. Not again.
Not again.
Not after that last game.
Again, and that's exactly the problem that I see coming as well. If you start falling behind here, that could really be a mental issue for them. But now they're moving in against Celia. They're trying to get the camp. KT is there. Breeze needs to be careful. Once again, a death against Varian this time. Breeze is down. JPL on the other hand is about to fall too, but Wubby can't confirm the kill. He steals the cancel. He gets the drag against Ragnaros and takes him down. Fnatic showing signs of life early on in game number 2.
If Mene had mana, I'm 90% sure that entire skirmish goes the opposite direction. But the fact that he didn't have that Fnatic heads-up play by looking to get that engagement, and that's going to secure them a shot advantage when it comes to the core and getting 2 of those altars.
At this point, there's so much on the line already. We're only in game number 2. Fnatic, they're momentum-based team. Emotions are huge for them. If they win, they thrive on them. You can really hear the energy from the booth there. But right now, Dignitas is just simply having fun. These guys are looking at this and are just hooking everyone in. They're getting their kills. They promised us fireworks before the final.
They did. They very much did. And I think so far they have definitely. Oh my goodness! There's going to be the stun. Tyrande with the follow-up.
No, the kill maybe.
He's going to be fine for now. Oh, that flight though. There's going to be the hook. Breeze, can he make it out? Kel'Thas is going to lock another one down. Mene is just a monster.
Dignitas unleashed the beast. Once again, they're looking good here. 36 to 32 points on the core so far. Dignitas is running the show again. But as we said before, Fnatic, they've already put a first kill on the scoreboard. They have to make sure, though, that they not fall or victim to all these hooks and Sulfura Smashes over and over again. Especially once we hit level 10 and Ragnaros actually has access to his ult.
One thing that, since Tyrande is becoming a hot topic in this grand finals, that we need to look at the difference in compositions that it was ran into. Fnatic right now is sitting in a position to where they have a lot more lockdown, but they have very little damage, considering that Greymane is going to be the large source of that. And so without that Greymane, their composition is very dependent on Tyrande and the rest of their team's lockdown. Whereas when Dignitas was running it, they were running it as that solo, which means when they get the initiation, even if it's not perfect, they typically have so much just raw DPS that disposition of them with the hook, and then all their heroes together, can kind of go even in trades. Fnatic, I think, has put a lot more in the, we are going to get this lockdown and it will be successful kind of bank. And I feel like if this game goes on and those engagements don't work like we saw on bottom onto Stitches, Fnatic's comp is going to be a lot harder to get away with victories in those team fights.
Especially since we have Kalthus there, and he's just going to spread those bombs the entire time, hit the flame strikes, and that's what I'm really afraid of right now. On the other hand, though, when we're talking Fnatic, they have very nice tools here. First of all, they're looking at globals. Of course, the false set on the side of Dignitas, but they also have the Owl as the interrupt against the channels, and I think this is really something that could help them here.
Yeah, I will surely be able to buy a lot of time for them. I mean, there's going to be occasion number 1, and it looks like the rest of Fnatic's going to join. Hook comes out, there's going to be the stun, follow up from the Lunar Flare. Roots drop, not going to hit Wubby with the flank, but Mene is making things happen in the back. Beautiful cleanse coming up from Bakery. Gotta keep Zaylee up.
That was a really important one. If that cleanse doesn't hit, then he can kiss his life goodbye. That was a very nice move here. Once again, we're seeing them moving in. They're zoning for Smexy. Smexy needs to be careful, needs to stop the channel here, but once again, Jay's looking for that hook. He gets it against Greymane, and immediately the cleanse coming through from Rega as we have Breeze moving in and pushing them back.
Beautiful job. Bakery actually body blocking so the drag cannot hit Mene, and he didn't commit to it. He didn't think they had the ability to confirm the kill. Now onto Bakery. Huge plays. Bakery back-to-back, saving his team, keeping them in this game.
Ragnaros in the middle, taking a wave down, making sure that they get a bit more experience, and it shows they're nearly a level ahead at this point. But once again, the play for the Shrine here. Keep in mind, we're having actually
Bakery.
a couple of interrupts. The first one is in. Bakery with a good root on the ground.
Yeah, very risky though. Nearly got himself caught there. Hook's not going to connect yet. Nine's about to be picked up for Dignitas, but posturing seems to be the name of the game for both sides. Flash comes out, doesn't get the delay, but the Owl there from Schwimpy, in fact, will.
Always reliable. They have to coordinate these interrupts right now. Breeze once again goes in, forces Bakery back. Smexy's just waiting in the bush there. They're trying to come in from behind. Wubby with a move. Is he getting the drag? Already on the ground, the healing totem, but Wubby needs to be careful. Both healers helping him, and what a dodge against that hook.
Yeah, a beautiful job there. Gonna get the dodge and keep himself up. But it sacrifices a tower, or excuse me, an altar here. Dignitas is going to even out the core HP, but they still have that experience advantage. They are lucky though. Fnatic giving up that shrine there puts them in a position where there's no way Dignitas has a 10 spike over Fnatic during the next altar phase. So that is very, very good for them, unless this skirmish happens.
Yeah. Ooh, they get it, but that was really huge. Okay, so he gets a hook, but it only hits the pumpkin. Not able to connect with one of their heroes here. But what is happening here? Dignitas went into this tournament and they were actually very skeptical to make it even into the final. Now they're dominating it, at least up to this point. Level 10's gonna be highly important here, though.
Combo goes out onto JPL. It looks like they're not gonna gain anything
There's
here
a 10.
either. But I think something to know, for me, the scariest competitor, just anything, is that with nothing to lose. And I feel like Dignitas has put themselves in that position where they don't care if they drop it. They're gonna play their game, and right now, that is not gonna be the losing one.
It's exactly the spot Fnatic was in against MVP Black at BlizzCon.
Yes, they were like, we had our final, we didn't expect to get here, we're gonna play our game. The difference is Dignitas is dominating, whereas, obviously, we didn't see the same versus Ballistics for Fnatic.
The pressure is on Fnatic through this entire series. They came into this tournament as one of the huge favorites to take it, but again, it's that land factor for Dignitas. Every time these guys are on land, they are just completely tuning it up. Once again, look at that. We have actually not only the Cursed Bullet, but we have also the Bloodlust here for them. I'm not sure what I think about Cursed Bullets here. We talked about that finisher role that Greymane oftentimes has.
Yeah, and so you have to ask I agree with you. I actually question it quite a bit. That makes Stitches it's only going to gain value on Stitches. All other targets, go for the throat would be a significantly more value heroic. It just get the first execution. It's almost 100% for every other hero here. I agree. It's a questionable choice on the side of Fnatic, but it should get them a lot of JPL kills.
Yeah, and they go for him, but they can't properly connect. Bile is already out. The hook is missing. Those long cooldown that he just utilized there. We have Falstad still in the middle. The Hakka's coming in. The Shrine active at the bottom, but they put themselves between two enemy forts. The left one was taken by Dignitas. It's a very risky position for Fnatic to be in. They have to win the fight. There's no retreat.
There is absolutely none, and even if they try, there's going to be a gust pushing them into one of the forts. You see Fnatic beginning to question themselves. Was this the right choice? Owl comes out, Quack and Snitch there in the 1v1. There's going to be Cursed Bullet. Now Stitches is not a kill target for some time onto the combo. There's the Starfall. Dahaka starts the channel.
Good Starfall. Snitch is eating a lot of damage here. Breeze is still looking for the next stun, and he goes in on JPL, but more so trying to simply zone him out here. And in the back, the Molten Core is being hit. That's going to be a great interrupt. Breeze is being attacked. They keep him alive, but for how long?
The Twilight Dream there gets the kill. JPL is gusted. There's Snitch saving his team, keeping them alive. Cursed Bullet does come off cooldown. Xaylia has bought enough time under the channels, and a man down. I think Dignitas can get themselves this, but where is Fnatic gonna run? I'm sorry, guys, that is not your fort. Where are you going? Smexy is running through. Snitch with the flight. Wubby's already accepted his fate, and Specs goes down as well. Dig is absolutely on fire.
Dignitas hammering Rega into the ground, taking also the Haka down and channeling through the altar at the bot lane. That's 5 shots against the core, and this is currently for Fnatic absolute horrible. Not only are they now behind in core hit points, but they are also a level behind and a talent behind.
Yeah, the experience department here is not looking great. Fnatic. And he's only going to go downhill, I think. JPL, we saw what happened the minute he hit Fishing Hook.
Yeah.
Game-winning plays just across the board here.
Fnatic made such a risky move going for that altar at the bottom because they had no place to retreat. We were talking about the 2 forts to the left and to the right taken. And the kill against Breeze, that was the linchpin here. If Breeze survives, then Fnatic is in a position where they know all the cooldowns are used on the opponent's side, but he falls in the end, and that puts Dignitas into that 5 versus 4 situation that they exploit mercilessly.
I can't help but criticize the Bloodlust. I'm very torn on it. I get the idea between the Starfall looking to force that initiation, but into Gust, into Twilight Dream, into Bile, there are so many defensive tools to kind of counter that initiation. And looking at Fnatic's draft, I get the idea they struggle in damage, make up for it in Bloodlust, but we've seen, you knew the Stitches Hook is going to come in. You know the root's going to fall up. You know Sulfur Smash and the Gravity Laps are there.
And especially the Gust alone is such a huge tool, but they try to go for JPL. The Bloodlust is out. JPL is down. Breeze is on the move. Bakery is exposed. He's going for him. The Gust is in the Ice Block too, and just barely getting away. Or is he? The stun of Schwimpy to run the delivers, but there's no one to follow it up because Snitch is playing on point.
Yeah, just flying down there a smidge too late. Or it's more JPL, you know, he was looking for that aggressive play, trying to manipulate the Fog of War, you know, end up getting a hook there from a cheeky position, and it did cost him his life.
Is that the moment if Fnatic can take the 2 and come back?
I don't know if it means the comeback, but it's a moment to breathe and sit here and look at the situation and be comfortable. It will help when it comes to core health, but it doesn't help in the experience department, which is debatably more important.
13 versus 13 though, so this is now an important one for them. They can fight on eye level. Stitches is back, he's on the way. They have a bit of a time window here. Already Smexing waiting, the rest of the team, they realize they need to buy the bit of time here, but it is again the Molten Core, one of the most annoying things to deal with on Towers of Doom.
Yeah, it's just buying as much time as possible. And Swimpy there got delayed in the mid as the rest of Dignitas has set their eyes and focus here to bottom. Bakery's going to start the channel. Breeze ends up hitting the Q, but he takes a lot of damage. Hook's not going to connect.
That was important. That's a huge cooldown. The JPL just burned, and they are posturing around once again, looking for an opportunity. There's the Dehaka running into Ragnaros. Always Xaylia looking up at the top. Here's again the Gust as the Beauty Bud is activated. JPL with the hook on the retreat, but a nice dodge here. The Sulfuras is connecting, but it's not enough damage to take Wubby down.
And now everybody on Dignitas questioning if they have the ability to move up and reinitiate, and it looks like they do not. There's going to be a combo coming out. Taunt was used, a heavy stack of CC. JPL does survive, but we've seen that multiple times. The communication on Fnatic is not what we typically see.
Shots are fired on both sides right now, though. Each one of the teams gets one of the altars. It looked for a moment like Fnatic could actually interrupt and maybe go in for the second one as well. Dignitas, on the other hand, is going to be very happy about this. They get an altar, and they're close to 16 now.
Yeah, again, the reason the experience is debatably worth more than those your core health is just based on the fact that, you know, if I get 20 talents here and triple Shrine Phase is going to spawn, there's no way you're taking that fight into me if you don't have the same, right? And so it can translate to shots later depending on the timing. But again, it's very crucial that with this damageless composition or lacking damage composition Fnatic's drafted, they cannot stack the taunt with the Lunar Flare combo. They need to make sure they are in perfect synergy because what they lack in damage, they have to make up for in crowd control.
But if there's one team out there that has shown the synergy in the past, it is Fnatic. They have shown incredible synergy and incredible discipline in team fights. This is what they need to bring to the table right now. They have to completely make sure that they're not nervous going into these fights. They have to have clear target calling, and then they need to go for it. This is what they're looking for here, as Dignitas is already on 16. Fnatic catching up in experience, though, trying desperately, of course, to get level 16 so that they can fire even talents once we have the altars active again.
He may actually gust to buy time here. The team is moving up. No, they're not going to be able to move fast enough. So that is going to be a trade on the bell towers, and we find ourselves at the triple altar phase. Bottom is very secure again for Dignitas. We saw what happens when you control both of those. So it's going to be a heavy fight here over the top half of these altars.
Snitch on Falstad has already completed Season Marksman. It's at 41 points right now, so he is able to get the attack speed bonus as well. Moving in as we have the Haka to the top left. The bot left is what they are fighting over. We also have Tyrande still in play here with the Owl. She can still interrupt. Fnatic is posturing right now. They don't know where the opponent is positioned, but up to the top right, we're seeing the bulk of Dignitas' army.
Tyrande still has the Owl. She's still got the delay. She's going to throw it out to scout more than anything.
And again, 2 forts, to the left, to the right.
I'm amazed at the confidence here Fnatic has, and they go directly into JPL.
JPL with a bile. Quacknix dodges. Nice, well done here. The Molten Core is out, eating most of the damage here. Stitches, that is, up in that front line, but the hook is missing. And Baker was immediately ready with a root, but there is no benefit from it in this case.
Yeah, one thing also is I just noticed is the fact that we saw more defensive talent three other than going into the fishing there for Stitches. So not as much pick potential, but more team fight. But there's gonna be the Swimpy, the cleanse. Smex keeps him up, but the Sophia Smash doesn't get it either.
Smexy, you boss! Shrimpy is alive, but he cannot run away. The 4 to his left, and once again they're moving in. What a Twilight dream! They're Haka down, the hook on Breeze. Dignitas, oh my God!
Bakery just single-handedly turned that fight there for his team. The minute that Fnatic thought they had the opportunity, it just is nope. Chuck Testa drops the cleanse, gets a beautiful heal and a root to peel off, and Dignitas again gains control, or remains in control here of this match. And
absolutely incredible. The hook against Shrimpy alone.
Yeah, the fact that he's getting the isolation onto the proper targets. Nobody's there to be able to keep them up, and knowing that Rhaegar has no Ancestral, there's no hope there. Bakery gets the helping hand.
The helping hand to just pull him in here. They go for the boss. Fnatic has to take it. They're still missing Breeze.
Oh my gosh!
JBL! If this wasn't LAN, I would call Mapak.
I'll be honest, I thought Mene was going to hit the over-the-wall gravity laps too. I thought that was just one more hook that leads to Dignitas blowing somebody up. They do scout out. That should reveal the fact that this is being invaded. Maybe not going to be the case. So Fnatic here does get a Sapper Camp. But really, you know, what is that going to mean when looking at the powerhouse of Dignitas and the control they have?
All right, 6 to 24 on the core. But at the same time, if you at some point gain the momentum, this is a great map for comebacks. Of course, Fnatic is with their back to the wall, no doubt about that. But if they can get some momentum for themselves, if they win a big team fight, close that gap in experience, and start taking these bell towers, they might be able to force Dignitas down. But it is going to be a very uphill battle at this point.
Yeah, it very much is going to be so. Like Dignitas, we've seen Dignitas be in this position before where they're willing to risk the game for questionable decisions, and if they fail, if they make that, I can see Fnatic easily punishing that with the easy, heavy engagement composition they have, that blow-up strategy. But if they're patient, Fnatic is they are the ones who have to make the plays. We need, you know, they can't wait for JPL to hit the legendary hook or Mene to have the plays that he has.
Talking about waiting, they have to take these fast. 20 is half a level away.
Yeah.
If you wait too long, your opponent has Storm Talents, and then you are in trouble. Right now, they need to make their move, and they need to make it fast, and they're going immediately to the top right. They want to take it. They go for Stitches, and he's not dying. JPL is not dying. He's able to survive this. They take down the Haka, but it is Ragnaros that falls.
And JPL is not even dead. Now Breeze is on the retreat. Gravity Lapse is going to be dodged. There he goes with the Warbringer, but it looks like it is going to cost him his life, but he does gain the kill here. Snitch with the flight. Shwimpy will not be able to get the channel. And Dignitas now is, if they keep in mind,
no way.
If they get both, they win.
How is JPL alive? How did he not
Stone
die
stick
there?
is the answer. It was amazing. That was the 60 telling.
It's crazy. They interrupt once again. They're fighting. They know they need to run. And 2v4. The death of Shrimpy to run them
That's it.
down. Smexy is dead, and this is game.
That's game. Dignitas, once again, 13-3 this time at the 19-minute mark.
How are they doing this? Dignitas is complete. They have completely transformed into a different. He's beast-stepping. They went full Super Saiyan before this game started.
They did. You know, they ate their Wheaties something. It's just...
Power level definitely over 9,000.
I can tell you this much, that next time Fnatic gets into a draft, I think, you know, Breeze might be screaming Kel'Thas, Kel'Thas, Kel'Thas for a different reason because that needs to be banned.
He can scream all day if Mane gets his hands on this hero again, and it's lights out. Like Dignitas takes the 2-0 in the best of 5 grand final at the Western Clash against Fnatic, a team that has lost one map throughout the entire tournament thus far. Look absolutely stellar all the way, and all of a sudden it seems like they have just no answer.
Dignitas just, for the first half of this tournament, looks so rigid in their drafting and their approach to the entire game, and then they just changed, evolved. As a group, it really feels like. And Fnatic is, they don't have the answer. This X factor that it seems like Dignitas decided, whether it be a land factor, whether it's dumb train somehow, you know, spreading some NA strategies with the Toronto, I don't know what it is, but it's working.
We're getting to a point where you have to ask yourself, are we banning Stitches?
I don't know. Where do you start? Is it the Toronto, is it the Stitches, or is it the Kel'Thas? Which is the problem?
It's...
Maybe the answer would be like a Medivh strategy. I can see trying to stop what we. It's not only going to provide the portal, but it can provide, you know, the peel off of whatever the hook target is. But if so, it has to be well orchestrated on the side of Fnatic. And I'm more worried about their momentum. We know they're a momentum-based team, and they had beyond confidence going into this tournament.
Fnatic has to take 5, has to really think about what they're doing right now. But of course, we also have to think a little bit more about the last game that we just saw. There was so much happening here, and I'm sure that our analysts have everything ready for us. Back to Gilly and the boys.
Oh yes, we have so much to talk about because Team Dignitas are now 1 game away from becoming the champions of the Western Clash. Guys, we have a lot of replays that we're gonna hop into and check out because there were so many plays there. But can Dignitas be stopped at this point? That's the real question.
You have to wonder, is this a long-term con that they've been working on for the last few weeks? You come to this tournament and you ask questions like, do they have any variety? Do they have the camaraderie? Do they have to be unleashed? We knew they had potential, but right now they're showing it to us. Look at this play, man.
They have all the answers here. Ragnaros just interrupting the altars. Gus to disengage. The God hooks with the perfect follow-up. Trust in each other and trust in their team. Dignitas is just running away with this.
Even the fly-by snitch there just to guarantee even more kills and just put them further and further ahead. Dignitas are just gods of chasing right now. They're putting so much aggression. You see the hook didn't land on that one, but Rag's still harassing the entire time.
But finally, we saw the Unleash down here as JPL is going to be down in the bottom left. Wubby goes in for the engage. Now, keep an eye on Bakery. This is where basically Dreadnought lost his stuff there on the casting desk because Bakery just steps forward here and makes the play because Shrimpy got away with the sprint. He was able to escape from this fight. It looked like the fight was pretty much over with. Stitch came in with a mighty gust, and Bakery walks forward, brings in the Twilight Dream, which allows Stitch to start working in the auto attacks, and Starfall even coming out wasn't enough.
That was a very unfortunate step forward by Shrimpy as he procced Burnt Flesh Flame Strike on both himself and Varian, effectively killing most of his own members there. But what a chaos, what a pressure here by Dignitas. How did JPL survive this one? Let's look at it again.
This one is beautiful. JPL popping his stone skin that he took. He went for full tank build, which we did not expect. He was just able to tank through all the damage and even follow up for another kill onto Greymane by pulling it into the Flame Strike. JPL just absolutely godlike here.
Pretty funny that Byron was able to kill Kel'Thas there. He was 60% life, 1 versus 4. Very nice heads-up play there by Breeze, trying to make the best of a poor situation. And likewise are Shrimpy and Smexy. You might wonder, do they really think they can win this 2v3? No, but it's a catch-22 here. If they don't stop the altars, they are also going to lose the game. So they gave it their best, try to get some damage on Bakery. And of course, in the end, it was not enough.
The synergy in those plays was impeccable in the patience on heroic abilities, timing them out correctly to be able to save each other and get those kills. Fnatic are now 2 games down in this best-of-5 series. Guys, any thoughts on what Fnatic need to do to be able to bring it back in the next game?
Take a reset. Oh, you go first.
No, go ahead.
Well, take a reset. Fnatic, they've been known for having their variety. Right now, their drafts against Dignitas, they're kind of telegraphed. Even we're able to call them up here from the past history that I've seen. We need something a little bit new from them, a little bit more hyper-aggression possibly, because Fnatic, when they turn it up, they can be a team that can shut down the aggression coming their way.
Another thing is Dignitas now twice in a row have been running kill comps. The drafts that do not revolve around global, they don't revolve around the objective control, but just 1 million stuns, lots of damage. And this is why they are actually banning out Medivh. But Medivh is not the only Medivh. There's also a Tassadar, there's a Zarya, and there's all kinds of tools that help you to protect. Fnatic, they've been running aggressive comps, they've been dictating the pace. Now that's been taken away from them. That's really hard to accept. But if they can rally their spirits and maybe have a nice substitute for Medivh, maybe they can start to counter what Dignitas is doing here.
I agree with what both of you said there. Fnatic, I think, need to maybe restock with Dignitas running kill comps. Maybe it's time to play the map a bit more. There's a lot of larger maps left in the pool. We have Sky Temple, which is a great Fnatic map, for example. If they maybe took the map choice and then worked their style of draft with lots of globals and lots of map control in, that might be what they need.
Well, guys, we may be facing our final game of the evening, but Fnatic have all the tools they need to bring it back. Don't forget, you can talk to all of us using the hashtag HGC on Twitter. We want to hear from you and what you think of these amazing games. We're headed to a break, and when we come back, game number 3 of our grand finals.